Over the next 2 years, we had developed a relationship based mainly on money. Yeah, baby mamas unite, BMU. Baby mamas unite against that ninja over there to get the child support. Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes you, can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Jackson family values. Y'all, I got to hurry up because a tornado is headed this way and I got to go get my baby from puppy care. Midway through our shooting schedule, Hazel was invited to Pittsburgh and brought along her other two children, Autumn and Jamie. Because Jermaine Jr. had been separated from his family for so long, the production company picked up the cost of Hazel's ticket while Jermaine and I pitched in the money for Autumn and Jamie's airfare. It was an interesting experience seeing Hazel in Pittsburgh. If I ever needed proof that she was a liberated woman, I got it the day she appeared on the set, dressed in black leather high-heel boots, black stretch pants, and a hot pink halter top that showed off her tight-toned midriff. She looked hot. I reflected back on the first time I had met Hazel in person. Jermaine and I had driven his two older kids back to their home near Chatsworth, and he invited me to meet his first wife. I had gone to the home many times, but never could bring myself to go in. I didn't want to create an uncomfortable situation for Hazel or myself. This time, however, was different. I summoned up my courage and walked with Jermaine Jr. and Autumn into the house. My expectations of Hazel were preconceived based on family discussions about Barry Gordy's chunky, spoiled daughter. Not so. Hazel was in perfect shape. She was friendly, outgoing, and sexily dressed in cut-off blue jeans and a pink bodysuit. And it was more than her figure that impressed me. She had a genuine quality about her that stood in marked contrast to the gimme girl she had been painted to be. Over the next 2 years, we had developed a relationship based mainly on money. Yeah, baby mamas unite, BMU. Baby mamas unite against that ninja over there to get the child support. Hazel was a big concern for me, so much so that I would speak constantly to Jermaine's business manager, Howard Grossman, about alimony payments and child support. Now, let me tell you what Hazel did. She tried it. But I'm glad you stood up for yourself, Peggy. Hazel called over there to Cirque du Soleil, Havenhurst, and was like, Peggy, what the hell y'all doing over there? Y'all better get my money together, and I mean now. And Peggy had to check her and be like, hold on, you know I'm not withholding no money from you and them kids over there. If anything, I'm trying to help our baby father get some money so that he can take care of all our kids. From that point on, Hazel checked herself, and they formed JJ's Baby Mammies Unite to get that money. Peggy, I don't look at you as breaking up my marriage. I look at you as someone who saved my life, she had told me. She said Jermaine could be very controlling and that she was happy to be out of the relationship. I got to the point where I began to wonder if I hadn't gotten the short end of the stick in Jermaine's shuffle. Pause. I've explained to you guys before that sometimes when women are fighting over men, they're actually competing against the other woman. When in actuality, you probably should be baking that bitch a cake. If you think for 1 second that him being a DDMF with you is going to disappear when he get with her, okay, sometimes they do change, sometimes they do, but their core is still DDMF. Okay, it's just they being a DDMF better. You got to look at it like this. That's no longer my problem. Yeah, he left me to be with Shirley, but Shirley got to deal with that ninja staying out all night. Now that ninja gonna be sleeping with her cousin, trying to talk to all her Judies, riding in her car, stealing her purse. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes that other woman be a blessing to you because she done took all that drama off your hands and now you got peace. You might not feel it in the moment, baby, but I promise you, once you mature past the competition, you're going to realize that new husband done you a favor. You know how many cakes I want to bake and send out to different hoes for taking these sorry people that I've had in my life out of my life? And that goes for males and females. You know, whatever it is I'm feeling that day. Okay? Just let them ninjas go sometimes. Hey, if you don't want me, then I don't want you. And that go for every facet in my life. Our relationship had proven instrumental before we went on location in helping KJ Films gain the music rights from Barry Gordy's company for the miniseries. Okay? You hear that? Baby Mamas Unite. Barry held the rights and hadn't seemed eager to turn them over. He was preoccupied with writing his autobiography and didn't want to get involved. Whenever I had a conversation with Hazel, I would push for her to intercede. I used the logic that the quicker Jermaine got paid, the quicker Hazel got paid. Baby Mamas Unite. Suzanne DePass, as executive producer, was actually responsible for dealing with Barry, but she was going through her own negotiations with him on a separate issue. The two of them had been partnered in Gordy DePass Entertainment, which was in the process of being dissolved, and she didn't want to get the deals intermingled. Getting the music rights was growing into a major problem when a birthday party conversation got everything sorted out. Hazel gave the party for Jamie, who was turning 5. Jermaine, Jeremy, Jordan, and I were invited for a dinner celebration at Hazel's house with Autumn and Jermaine Jr. The meal had just ended when Barry Gordy and his then wife, Grace, arrived. I took advantage of the opportunity to pull Barry aside. It was the first time we had talked privately, and I was surprised when he said he wanted me to know how wonderful it was that Hazel and I had become friends. He said he admired the mature way our relationship had developed and how kind it was of me to run interference with Jermaine on the child support issue. I wasn't aware that he had even known that I had gone to bat repeatedly for his daughter. Since he brought it up, I mentioned that Jermaine, as well as several other Jackson brothers, were behind on their support payments because their cash flow had all but dried up. I told him that while Michael and Janet had money, the rest of the family was in financial chaos. Not Catherine. Catherine wasn't in financial chaos. I leveled with him about how much they needed the miniseries. Michael can't keep bailing them out. I'm sure you've experienced the same sort of thing with your family. I added, knowing full well that a father as wealthy as Barry was surely supporting at least a few relatives. He seemed to agree, but he still hadn't said he would sign off the music rights. The next day changed things. Hazel called and patched her father through to my house. He want your house? Ain't you living over there in Cirque du Soleil with the Catherine? Oh, well, maybe they in a temporary house in Pittsburgh. Okay, my bad. Hazel called and patched her father through to my house. He wanted me to know that he had thought about what I had to say and thanked me for the way I had presented it. Barry said that he was going to meet with Suzanne and see what he could do. Negotiations for the music rights began within the week. Our agent, Rob Lee, had sold the miniseries to ABC for $10 million. That ain't enough. All the Jacksons brothers is behind on child supports. All of them. And you sell the Jackson family story for $10 million? That ain't enough. That's just like how, what's his name? Gordy. I think he sold Motown for some piece of nothing that I was like, what the hell? But y'all, was like, well, nay, he still owned blah, 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 and blah, 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 Okay, but no, the Jacksons, they get this one shot. They ain't finna make another Jackson story. Our agent Rob Lee has sold the miniseries to fire his ass. Our agent Rob Lee has sold the miniseries to ABC for $10 million, but it soon proved inadequate for the production because the music rights alone would cost more than $1 million. See what I'm saying? What is this? What is this? This ain't enough. This ain't enough. We held a meeting to discuss how we could make up what could certainly be a multi-million-dollar deficit. The unasked question seemed to be, would the Jacksons cover it? There was no way I was going to ask any of the Jacksons to make up the shortfall. Because they ain't got no money, girl. The whole idea of the miniseries had been to make money for family members, not put some or all of them in debt. We all started looking for additional funds, but the money we needed was not forthcoming until Suzanne DePass spoke to her contacts at Polygram. A deal was struck with Polygram to cover the deficit. All the money was now in place. Our most difficult negotiations weren't with the network, with Polygram, or even with Gordy. Our toughest bargaining came from within the family in determining how the money would be split among the Jacksons. Girl,